Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Regiments. The demo is now available on Steam, and we're going to give this one a try, combining elements of Company of Heroes, War Game, and also World in Conflict. You'll see a lot of things that you recognize here, and it'll be all too familiar with what it appears to be, but there's a lot of different things that makes this game quite interesting. So let's give a skirmish a try as we await for the release of the full version. Under skirmish, by the way, there's a few different game modes. We have meeting engagement, mobile defense, and attack, which are various, such as both sides of the map starting as blank, and you'll have to capture the points across the map. Mobile defense, where one player defends, one player attacks, and attack, where it is somewhat similar with a few different game rules. We're going to be playing as the West Germans for now. We'll give, I guess, the Panzer Brigade 29 a chance, as they have Leopard 2A1s, and also, of course, the Americans have M1A1s. There's also the Warsaw Pact, which consists of Panzer Regiment 4 and also the 40th Motor Rifle Regiment. So Soviet and Eastern German troops and American and Western German troops available on both sides respectively. If you guys want to see more of this game, remember it is absolutely imperative to smash that like button to support, RTSs, and especially war-type RTSs are kind of suppressed and not as interesting to people anymore. So if you want to see this grow, make sure you do that. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. We're going to go ahead and try meeting engagement game mode, and we'll be playing as the Germans. We'll do a one-on-one and see how everything works and show off all the interesting new aspects to this game. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. No news on if there's going to be a campaign or whatnot, but I would definitely like to see another campaign, especially in yet another enticing RTS. Now, this game works a little differently, but also very similar to War Game, as I've been mentioning. There's aspects of off-map support, such as in World in Conflict, and there's also Task Force that we can call in at any given time as soon as we surpass the time limit. So here's a look at the map. This looks really cool, and also there's supply zones here in the blue where we'll be able to spawn and also resupply our units, and I believe some bonuses also allow us to call in trucks that we can then resupply our units out in the field. Well, the goal then is to capture each one of these zones. It looks like there's 7 in total, so we'll need to outnumber the enemy. You can see here that this is our off-map support here, and eventually every 4 minutes or so we can call in different task forces, which comprised of different types of units, such as helicopters or more advanced Panzer Grenadiers, or even other types of artillery. So let's go ahead and try to capture these zones and fight the Soviets. Now, obviously, the Germans here having some of the best tanks. The Leopard 2A1, this taking place in the 1980s. I welcome this with open arms. I want more and more and more RTSs, and I want more people to support them, because they truly are good games that are somewhat underestimated or ignored by a lot of people. They just think that they're a little too complicated or not for them, and I wish that wasn't the case. So let's go ahead and deploy and get into battle. We'll just have everybody start together, and we'll go for the first point. Okay, we've on pause now, and units are moving. This is good, so they'll go ahead and start moving. The units look really good, although certain things like, type of formations when you're moving and such are not there, as well as move speed are not there, i.e. Moving on roads or just moving through fields. But there probably are functions like that somewhere, and coming soon. Alright, we got to be on the lookout now for Soviet forces. We'll capture Gamma, and we'll have our forces push up to Eta and Alpha, and Epsilon on the left flank. And we'll have this unit here capture Gamma, and then Beta, the Lukes, here on the backside. Oh, it looks like they are moving through water, so they are amphibious. I think this is supposed to be a lake, but again, this is an early access type title, nowhere near completion. So it would be good if there were units that could easily fly across bodies of water like that. That would be great. If they can fly across water, it means we can capture things faster, especially if they're like a small transport, and that would be really cool. Alright, units are moving into position. We need to just take and hold the objectives. It looks like the Soviets pushed up to Epsilon to begin with, so we'll need that Recon up here as soon as possible. We have access to different types of Panzer Grenadiers, which are loaded up with anti-tank weapons, and also they'll be able to fire from the woods very effectively. This game seems to really admire vehicles a little bit more than infantry, at least from what I've seen so far as playing the Germans, but that doesn't mean infantry is weak, as we have several towns over here that we can occupy. Same cover system as in War Game, or possibly even Company of Heroes. You have your light cover and your heavy cover, which of course will allow our vehicles to take cover in a forest or take cover in a
Contact front.
small ridge line. All right, we have our first contact. Soviet tanks moving in. And it looks like the Soviets are using smoke on our position. They fired cluster artillery.
Will go.
Instead, I've seen smoke being used before, maybe not. Go ahead and move over this way to see if we can engage them.
We're killing them.
All right, one position captured. Let's move over here.
Will go.
Got to get out of that artillery. Multiple units spotted. Seems to be BMPs. We got to pull back.
We need support right now.
Zone captured.
All right, pull back, boys. Way too many of them. An HQ vehicle. BMP-2. Wow, weather effects and a day-night cycle on the fly? That is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. All right, let's try to kill that HQ vehicle. Oh, nice. Looks like one of them got destroyed. Looks like two BMPs working together. Wow, this is awesome. All right, 38 seconds and we'll receive reinforcements. We also have the ability to call in Alpha jets.
Hold on a moment longer.
Let's see if we can keep an eye on the enemy. Get the Lukes up here. No, wait, stay there. Okay, let's call in air support. Shokos. Enemy infantry. All right, here comes the bombers. We need support. Broken Schnitzel. They've got us surrounded. Where's the aircraft? There they are. Alpha jets coming in. All right. Now, we have Task Force available, which is giving us a chance now to fight back. We have Armored Task Force Recon, so we have access to Leopard 2A4s now at 245 points each. You may have seen that there's a lot going on the screen, so feel free to pause at any moment, too, by the way, as there's a lot of different details to read about all these task force. We don't have time to go through every single one of them, but what we are going to do is bring in, more than likely, we could bring in armored task force tanks, or another good option at this point might be the helicopter team, Antwort, as they do have PAH-1s that are loaded with anti-tank missiles. As you can see, they're Hot 1s that have a 2,800 meter range. So let's go ahead and go with the armored task force right there and call those in. Let's see if we can get some reinforcements here right away. So every few minutes we get to choose a variation on our already existing battle group. So if you start, for example, with a heavy infantry group, you then might be able to select reinforcements from tanks. These are basically calling in other task force, saying, hey, this is the infantry, we need tanks, or hey, this is the tanks, we need helicopters, and so on and so forth. All right, the enemy's really pushing aggressively, and that's great. This will allow us to see a big fight. Direct command, intervention rallies, and reorganize suppressed units. Very cool. All right, let's get the better tanks up here now. The Leopard 2 A4 is a much better tank than the ones that we were deploying before.
Target destroyed.
And yes, you can see why. There we go. Leopard 2 A1s are available, but the 2 A4 is very advanced. Oh, wow, they're just absolutely destroying those vehicles. Soviets are hauling ass backwards now. Well, they might be
Reporting hostile fire, over.
Be putting double thoughts onto that advance.
Unit lost, I repeat, unit lost.
Well, let's go ahead and wait for these guys. They're going to push forward. Let's go ahead and push our tanks back. Let the Germans...
Roger, out.
The Soviets advance here. Now, I don't know who we're fighting exactly now, if it's East Germany or the Soviets, but they are using Soviet equipment. Wow, they're getting absolutely destroyed. And they're hauling ass backwards again. Reinforcements on the way.
Affirmative, over.
Very good. All right, let's have these units pulled up here. Recapture our territories and wipe out those infantry. Well, we need to get more points in order to call those out. I believe we get these points by killing enemy units, just like in World in Conflict. You would capture territory or destroy units in order to gain more tactical points, which then would allow you to call in off-maps artillery or tanks or what have you.
Got one.
All right, let's keep calling in the reinforcements. Good job, boys. Soviets ain't gonna stop us now. Oh, beautiful. All right, let's get some recon up here, too. Oh, situation evolves. Focus on new objectives. Oh, so the map actually kind of changes out a little bit. So if somebody locks things down, oh, that's cool. Everybody's got to re-scramble and fight over new objectives. That is really cool. I've never seen a game do that before. That's amazing. I like that. Okay, we have 98 points. We got a minute, 2 seconds until we can continuously call in new stuff. Let's get that light Lukes up here to capture Beta, and we'll head up to Alpha now with a couple of our units. We'll keep an eye out for the Soviets, find them en masse, and then we'll ambush them. Well, that's really cool that the situation can evolve to where now it's almost day. The sun's coming up. You can see the map getting brighter. That's impressive. A day-night cycle in an RTS is very rare. And even weather effects, too, where it was raining and storming moments ago, really making feel like the battle has been going on for more than just, like, 20 minutes.
Solid copy on all.
Uh-oh, Soviets trying to sneak up on us.
Please advise.
Get some reinforcements over here.
Fire.
Get into cover. Get some more tanks up here.
Target destroyed.
Ooh, enemy cluster artillery. I believe I've also seen them fire smoke rounds before, too, so they might be able to vary between what they fire.
New task force available.
Alright, we get a new task force. Let's see who else we want. Well, we could call in more tanks if we want, more affordable tanks. We can call out more than 2 at a time. We are limited, but once we lose them, we're able to call them out again, similar to World in Conflict, which is just absolutely amazing, that game. It's a real treat. I want to try the helicopter teams now. Let's give them a shot, though. There's so many cool different task forces to call out. So let's go ahead and call them in, and let's keep moving. Let's move ourselves to Alpha. Delta now. We'll try to take the left side, and we'll have the Lukes swing around to the right side. The Lukes for the Germans, by the way, if you're aware of a lot of their equipment, these are armored cars that have like a 20 or 30 millimeter on them, and they're very good at destroying light vehicles and just wreaking havoc on infantry.
Solid copy.
It'll be interesting to see what the American reinforcements are as well. They must have the Abrams in the game as well as other tanks because of how many different types of task force there are. Alright, let's go ahead and move our units up. Let's get those helicopters up here too to provide some support, emotional support, I hope. Looks like we also have Fuchs teams who are Jaeger, standard German infantry. Might be equipped with anti-tank weapons too. Alright, helicopter support is here in terms of the PA. And these fire ATGMs, which will be super useful at destroying tanks at a small range. They're not long range, but they can do it.
Roger.
Okay, Delta's been taken by the enemy. It is possible the enemy will flank over here. Oh, that is way too many units. Pull back. Pull back. There, we're waiting for an ambush there. Okay, let's get Alpha Jet.
Under attack. Please advise.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Got one.
Okay, we gotta call everything in. Here comes the jets for support. Let's see if we called it in the right spot. One's panicking due to Shoka fire, and same with the second. Soviet forces really coming back strong in the second round. Second helicopter on the way. Soviets calling in their own aircraft. Some sort of MiG there. Looked like an S. Wasn't that an Su-25? I don't think so. Could have been. Helicopters taking a lot of fire now from the units closing in close. Wow, the Soviets just pushing through like a madhouse. A bomb strike from our call-out would have been great here. Now, another task force may give us additional call-outs on the left side, too. So that's something to keep in mind, that we might be able to get better support, off-map support with those. Okay, we need more Leopards here. There are way too many units attacking us. Missiles are doing damage when they're landing hits. Let's see if they can destroy a unit. There we go. Unit destroyed. Leopard 2A4 is coming up for an ambush. Soviets have us on the back of our heels here. Although we are winning strategically point-wise. So that's a battle within itself, not just destroying enemy units. If the Soviets outnumber us 10-1, and they've killed 10 of us, but we've killed 40 of theirs, we could win, depending on how valuable those units are. Alright, assault engineers here.
Visual on the enemy.
Now, since this doesn't play out like War Game and more like World in Conflict, we're a little bit more better set at leaving our units on the field until they die.
No survivors.
Because we're trying to hold objectives here.
Nailed one. We need support right now.
Enemy aircraft.
We'll go. Out.
Alright, we have a few seconds until we can call in our own reinforcements.
Reporting hostile fire. Over.
Wow, those units are going to go down. That is crazy. Good combo from the enemy of light vehicles like that. Martyr 1A1's Panzergren might be good here for anti-tank guided missiles.
New task force available.
Good, and a new task force available as well. Alright, last one. Let's see here. We have ourselves a Recon task force. DPICM. I have no idea what that stands for. It must stand for Don't Pick Individual Communist Men. Okay, let's see. We've got artillery barrages. That's good. We are rarely making the points needed for that, though. But there's the smoke artillery that I was mentioning earlier that I had seen previously. Let's see. We have recon forces, command groups, which might allow our units to be more effective in battle if they're near a command unit, meaning less suppression. Mechanized forces with Fuchsjäger, Panzer Grenadiers. We need more different types of tanks here. Let's see. Schwanz. Okay, I see. Luke's, Leo's. Oh man, I don't know exactly what to pick here. Let's go with something with the artillery. And let's go with the unit here. And we'll try to hold as we're going to be pushed back really aggressively now. Now, I think the more positions that we capture as well, the more aggressive that our units will be in terms of getting reinforcement points. We'll be able to be more aggressive and capture those positions.
Got one.
Enemy helicopters? Yep, looks like they're moving awfully quickly. Alright, let's get some Panzergren here and attack whatever those units are. Yep, enemy helicopters.
We're getting a lot of fire here.
Now, I believe infantry stays with their vehicles, so if you move vehicles to a position and stop, they'll get out to fight.
We've got multiple wounded here.
And then they'll pull back into the vehicle in order to continue to bring the fight to the enemy. So they're a lot more mobile than you would think. Leopard 2A4s are almost impossible to kill. Let's call in a bomber. Gotta hold this ground. Of course, you don't want to retreat. You want to keep the enemy into the special attacks. 2 Alpha jets coming in for a strike. Anti-aircraft is probably with them. Looks like he got a bomb off. Oh, he did. Very nice. Alright, get those Panzer Grenadiers into the trees. Let's get some reinforcements up here.
Contact front 1000.
Let's get some more Panzer Grenadiers here. Now they're having to fight against a reinforcement point, so it's going to make it a lot harder for them. So we have a chance here to pull back. We're still winning strategically point-wise, 569 to 547. Although we've taken a hell of a beating to hold West Germany. Panzer Grenadiers here could fire their ATGMs. I believe that Luke's might also have an ATGM as well. Maybe. Alright, enemy BMP-3s it looks like are approaching. Or no, those are, I forget the name of those, but they can be paradropped. VDV BMD-2 is what it is. Enemy paratroopers. We need to get some more tanks out here quick and turn the tide of battle. Let's get these guys to go capture positions. We need to get out of this corner. Okay, now we can go on the attack again.
We'll go. Out.
We need to get out of here. New objective in 4 minutes, so we need to capture the immediate positions in front of us. Enemy artillery coming in. And our units advancing through all this destruction now. ATGMs.
Reporting hostile fire, over.
Alright, more BMPs destroyed.
Vehicle lost. They're brewing up.
More enemy helicopters. We don't really have any anti-aircraft units for this, but our tanks can still fire at those helicopters.
Can't hold on a moment longer.
Enemy is extremely effective with their off-map callouts.
Zone capture.
Alright, we're continuously capturing zones here. Enemy controlling 3. Now we need some sort of anti-aircraft here.
Target destroyed.
Ah, here we are. 135 points to take one of those down. Let's do it.
We'll go.
We'll keep the tanks together and try to push back into ETA again. There we go. Gepard now moving into position. Very difficult to see. Multiple days passing.
It's too much. Move out. Move. Roger. Will do.
Excellent weapon here. Veterancy increased too. And another group of enemy helicopters.
Roger.
Oh, this is wonderful. Lots of enemy helicopters. Okay, we need to keep punishing them. Let's call out another group again. We need to keep finding those units. Enemy tanks must have ambushed us on the left side. Cool. Well, since this is early, there is a lot of balancing to it and a lot of things to learn as well. We'll go with Leopard 1A1s, 1A4s, and continue to push. This is great. I want to do this again, coming back for the American forces and also the Pact forces, too. Might be interesting to do co-op multiplayer with an AI as well to see how things will function.
Heads up. Enemy contact.
Enemy helicopters have been spotted.
Roger.
Let's see if we can get close to them to use our machine guns. Any sort of level of suppression on those helicopters would be great.
We're killing them. We're getting a lot of fire here.
Lots of enemy helicopters.
We've got multiple wounded here. We need support right now.
Wow, we can't... So many helicopters, we can't even see them all. Oh, enemy units retreating. Bomber should be able to hit the position. Possible that enemy units were destroyed.
Zone lost.
I should have used the artillery barrage, though I think we're out of points for that. Okay, let's go ahead and get another Gepard. Wow, the amount of enemy helicopters is impressive. They went for a crazy amount of those. Okay, continue to move.
Enemy achieved total domination.
Oh, there you go. Total domination, so you can win immediately by doing that. That is awesome. Look at the amount of units that were destroyed on both sides. All right, so we got quite a few deaths and good kills, too, here. With Leo 2s just destroying the enemy tanks and also transports. So that's where they were knocking things out there. Helicopters pretty effective, though the German one's pretty weak, though. Pretty cool to see all of that, though. I must say, I really am impressed with this game. Now, there's many different game modes, a lot to learn, but Regiments being a free demo version is pretty damn sweet. I want to come back and try out the American forces now for the second ACR, and then switch it over to the Soviets and do some other stuff there. Now, this was just one of the game modes, too, with mobile defense kind of being similar to that, except one player is a little bit more having to supply their units and attack, kind of being the opposite, where you have to attack defensive positions. One map available at the moment, but different types of weather, too. So atmospheric conditions can actually affect battle, too. Pretty amazing. All right, well, with more play, I think I'm going to get better, and I want to practice this one more to bring in the fight for you guys. So thank you very much for looking at our first look at this game. Download it yourself. Give it a try. It is free, and it would be awesome to see more people playing real-time strategy games. I got a lot to learn and some more time to burn, so I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.